Located in a place called Rumokoro in Port Harcourt, Nigeria, was a building which looked normal like every other building. This building, located on Elenwo Street, housed a hospital where every woman trying to conceive got pregnant. It was the answer to so many women's prayers. Women who tried to conceive for even up to 25 years got pregnant after visiting this hospital. However, this hospital ran its affairs secretly. There was no major publicity, no signpost, no adverts, and everything was done codedly. My people, I am about to tell you the story of a couple who visited this hospital, how they discovered this hospital, and the shocking revelation that changed their lives forever. So grab a seat and let's dive right into this jaw-dropping real-life mystery. Mary had been married to her husband Daniel for over 15 years, and they were madly in love. However, there was one thing missing from their perfect life: a child. They desperately wanted to have children, but despite countless efforts, Mary couldn't conceive. Year after year, Mary visited doctors. She tried every possible treatment, from fertility drugs to invasive procedures to IVFs, but no matter what they did, the results would always come out the same: disappointment. The pain of seeing pregnant women all around her grew unbearable. Infertility can take a huge toll on a person's emotional and mental health, and for Mary, it was starting to feel like an endless nightmare. Friends and family didn't help either, offering unsolicited advice that just made her feel more alone. One day, a woman who had been in the same fertility cycles as Mary approached her. She whispered a secret. She told Mary about a special place called the Miracle Hospital, a place where women who had struggled with infertility for years were said to live with babies in their arms. Naturally, Mary was skeptical. It sounded almost too good to be true. She had heard of countless fertility centers and clinics, but this one seemed different, and something about it didn't sit right with her. But after years of nothing, she thought, what do I have to lose? With a mix of hope and uncertainty, Mary and Daniel traveled to the hospital. It was located in a street in Rumokoro called Elenwo. It looks like a normal house. In fact, it was amidst other buildings. It didn't look like a hospital from the outside. When they arrived, they were greeted by friendly staff who seemed overly welcoming. They reassured Mary that this hospital was different from all the others. There were no long lines, no crowded waiting rooms, just personalized care, and most importantly, a guarantee of success. However, there was one rule that caught Mary's attention: no scans, no visits to other clinics, no antenatal in other clinics. Everything had to be done in that particular hospital, and absolutely no telling anyone about the hospital or the treatment that she was about to undergo. The staff seemed oddly adamant about this, but Mary, desperate for a child, decided to trust them. The treatment itself was unlike anything she had experienced before. It involved a combination of hormones, physical therapy, injections, and other unconventional methods. The hospital promised that these techniques would rejuvenate her womb and prepare her for a successful pregnancy. Also, at the hospital, they were asked to choose the sex of the baby they wanted, and they were asked if they wanted twins. If you wanted girls or you wanted boys, the prices were different. Everything seemed so good to be true, but Mary and her husband opted for twin boys, and they were told to go home and meet each other and they would conceive that night. 2 months after starting the treatment, Mary revisited the hospital and they confirmed that she was pregnant. She couldn't believe it. After years of heartbreak and tears, her dream had come true. The staff at the hospital celebrated with her, and for the first time in ages, Mary felt like she was truly part of something special. But as time passed, there were a few things that didn't add up. For one, her pregnancy seemed to be progressing slowly. At the 6-month mark, she still didn't have that classic baby bump that you would expect from someone in their second trimester. As weeks turned into months, Mary began to feel increasingly uncomfortable. She was carrying what she thought was a twin pregnancy, but there were no visible signs of progress. Still, the hospital staff continued to assure her that this was normal. Some women, they said, just carry their pregnancies longer than others. After 13 long months, Mary gave birth to twin boys. Yes, 13 months, not 9 months. You can imagine the confusion and concern that overwhelmed her. But once again, the hospital staff assured her that this was perfectly normal. Mary and Daniel were overjoyed with their new family. 2 years later, they returned to the hospital for another process since they wanted to have more kids. During the process, one day, while Mary was speaking to her doctor, Daniel made a shocking discovery. Mary, who had been pregnant for 2 months, was still menstruating regularly. That was when the red flags really went up. Daniel insisted that they visit another hospital for a scan, despite the Miracle Hospital's warning against it. He needed answers. Mary was reluctant, but she trusted her husband. They went to the scan, and the results were terrifying. The truth was out. Mary was never pregnant. There was no baby. No growing child. What they had been told were the signs of pregnancy were nothing more than a cruel ruse. They were devastated, heartbroken, and angry at the hospital for what they had done. Mary and Daniel decided to take their investigation a step further. They had DNA tests done for the twin boys. The results were even worse than they could have possibly ever imagined. The twins were not biologically related to either of them. They weren't even their children. The couple soon realized that they had fallen into the hands of a baby trafficking syndicate. The so-called Miracle Hospital was a front for a network that trafficked babies to desperate parents. The twins were not theirs, and they had unknowingly been part of a baby stealing operation. Mary actually carried her first pregnancy for 13 months because apparently the hospital was searching for a mom who would give birth to twin boys that they would present to Mary. So apparently, why all the pregnancies in this hospital, or most of the pregnancies in this hospital, delayed was because they were waiting to get babies who had been sold by their mothers or forcibly taken away from their mothers to unsuspecting parents who thought that they actually had pregnancies and gave birth to babies. Now, with their hearts broken and their trust shattered, Mary and Daniel were faced with an impossible decision. They couldn't remain in Nigeria with the twins. They were terrified that if they did, the children would be taken away from them. Fearing for their lives and their children's safety, Mary and Daniel made the difficult decision to flee the country. They traveled overseas, leaving behind everything they knew. But despite being in a foreign land, the weight of their secrets remained heavy in their hearts. From their new home abroad, Mary and Daniel decided they couldn't keep silent. Daniel began to anonymously share their story online, posting their experiences on various forums and social media platforms. They hoped to expose the truth about the Miracle Hospital and warn other unsuspecting women. The story caught the attention of a journalist who reached out to the anonymous page, and they cooperated with the journalist and provided every information needed about the Miracle Hospital. As the journalist's investigation gained momentum, the truth about the Miracle Hospital was finally exposed. The hospital was raided by police, and the baby trafficking syndicate was dismantled. Dozens of women were found to be victims of the same fraud. Despite the scandal being exposed, Mary and Daniel knew they could never return to Nigeria. Their lives would never be the same. The trauma of what they had been through would stay with them forever. For the rest of their lives, Mary and Daniel lived with the weight of these secrets. The twins they raised would never know their true origin. They had no choice but to protect them from the harsh reality of how they had come into their lives. As the years passed, the memories of the miracle hospital and the nightmare they had lived through faded, but never fully disappeared. They remained grateful for their children, but the story of their deception was a bitter one they could never erase. Mary's story serves as a cautionary tale for anyone searching for a miracle. Desperation can cloud judgment, and people are often taken advantage of when they are most vulnerable. It's important to always question the things that seem too good to be true. My people, a lot of things are happening. Crazy things are happening. Crazy things are happening. The heart of man is desperately wicked. People can literally do anything to make money. My people, this is a story of the miracle hospital. If you enjoyed this video, do give it a huge thumbs up. Leave a kind comment. Let me know what you think about this story. Do you think Mary and Daniel made the right decision by fleeing the country? Please share this video so that more people can hear the story, enjoy the story, and we can use it in creating awareness about things like this that happen in the society. Subscribe to this channel so we can move this ministry to the permanent site. And hopefully, I am going to be seeing you guys in my next mind-blowing, jaw-dropping story. For now, bye-bye.